let's look at an example under balanced scorecard. So okay, so this example, now the example here is looking at a company that manufactures tables. This company manufactures tables and sells to customers. So we are now going to apply a balanced scorecard to such a company. Before we can apply the balanced scorecard, there are four main things that we have to look at. The first one is the objectives we want to achieve, and these are both financial and non-financial. The second thing that we want to look at under balanced scorecard are the measures. So we should be able to measure our objectives. The next one is our target. And the last one is initiatives, what we are doing to achieve those targets. So now let's go on and set a table. So here the table is set. These tables are set. Then we look at the four main areas that we have to look at under the objectives. Okay. So the first thing that we have to do is the objectives. So the first thing we have to look at are the objectives. The next thing that we have to look at are the measures that I wrote up here. The next is targets, and then the last one are the initiatives. Great. Now let's go to the first one that we set. Let's create a big gap. So let's take it for instance. The first objective is the financial objectives. So we have the financial objective. Now, in order to achieve our financial objectives, I did state that for financial objectives, shareholders are interested in profitability. Shareholders are interested in profitability, growth, and shareholders value. So what measures can we set that will help us achieve the profitability, the growth, and the shareholders wealth? So we can set measures such as increased revenue, then increased profitability, And the last one is decrease operations costs. Now we move to the targets. Now, what target have you set for the increased revenue? What target are we setting? Target simply means that what do we want to achieve at the end of a period? Maybe at the end of the first quarter, at the end of the second quarter, the third quarter, or at the end of the full year, what do we intend to achieve as a manufacturer of tables? We want, let's say, we want to achieve, say, 5% increase in sales revenue. So the target, you should always have a figure or a number, because your target must be quantified. So here you must quantify, so here the target should be in quantitative terms. So 5% increase in sales revenue from the sale of tables. What about our profitability? Here we can set two objectives under the profitability, where we can say we can say that 10% increase in net profit margin. %10 increase in net profit margin. That will measure profitability. Then under operation cost, we can say 15% decrease in the 15% decrease in the cost, in the operations cost per annum. So here we can attach time variables. So here we can say per annum, and this one to per annum. So 5% increase in sales revenue per annum, 10% increase in net profit margin per annum, and 15% decrease in the operations cost per annum. And this one will relate to the operations, this one will relate to the profitability, and this one will relate to the increased revenue. Then in order to achieve our targets, what can we do? What initiatives should we put in place in order to achieve those targets? So first of all, in order to achieve this 5% increase in sales revenue, we can say that we have to improve marketing of our products. Marketing of our products. Marketing of our product. Then we can also have more customer. So we can say that, okay, if our product that we sell is sold online, then we can say improve online sales process. Then we can also say that, okay, we can improve product deliveries, because we want to have more sales revenue. Then under profitability, In order to improve operation cost, we can also say that we can do cost analysis or / audit. So basically the initiative, this is not an exhaustive list. This is not an exhaustive list, it's not an exhaustive list, but it's basically looking at how we will be able to achieve these targets, looking at what we are expected to do as a company internally to achieve these targets. Hope you get me. Then let's look at customer perspective. Let's look at the customer perspective. Customer objectives. Now, I have told you that customers are interested in time, the cost, the quality, and performance and service. So these are the areas that customers are interested in. How can we set measures that we will be able to work towards to meet these customers' expectations? So we can say let me use a different color. So improve product improve product quality as our first measure. Then the second measure that we can use is improve our customer experience. How can we improve? So we set measures to improve customer experience. Then we look at improve market perception. So customer perception of our product. Then the last one is improve product visibility. So these are the measures that we've set for ourselves. Now, how can we measure if we are providing what is the target? What are the targets that we can use as a company to meet these measures? So we should have low return rate, but remember, it should be in quantitative terms. So we have 1% return rate of products. So if we sell our products, if we sell 100 products, only one should be returned by our customers as having defects. And so that one will help us improve our product quality, improve our customer experience. Then that one can say that, okay, we should have 0.5% of, okay, we should have, let me use a different measure. We should have 10 number of complaints per annum. So this one is also per annum. sorry, okay, 10 number of complaints per annum, and that will help us achieve this kind of measure. Then customers perception, how can customers perceive our product, and how can we measure the customer's perception? Now we can say that we should have low, okay, let me use the rate. We should have let's take, for instance, if you want to measure perception, is what people say. So in order to measure that, we can say that our customers, we should have percentage of customer referrals. Now let me explain this. Percentage of customer referrals. If a customer perceives your product or service as good, then that customer will be able to refer another customer to your company. If his perception about your product is bad, he will direct other customers to a different place. Okay? So if you want customers' perception, then the number of customers' referrals can be used as a measure or as a target to measure customer perception. Then the last one is improve product visibility. How can we improve product visibility? It says we can say that, let me explain the product visibility. When we say products are visible, it means that among competitors, our product is widely known. So we can say that percentage, we can set a target of percentage of products at, say, supermarkets or shops. So say higher percentage, let me put the high percentage of products at supermarkets and shops. So if we go to these shops and we look at the shelves and we quantify, do we have a large presence or large visibility at these shelves? Then what can we do to achieve this target? To have 1% return rate of products. Then here we can say that let me use this white so that it will be different. Okay, let me maintain the red. So here we can set a target as high product design. Sorry, the spaces are too small. High product design. So when we design our product so well, customers will not return the product. Then the next one is 10 number of complaints. How can we reduce the number of complaints? What initiative can we take to reduce the number of complaints? We can do good customer service. So if customers have good customer service, then their complaints will be reduced. Then the next one, product visibility. What can we do? We can use market research as an initiative to see the number of customers who are referring others to our product. Then the percentage of products at shops, we can use market surveys. So if you look at the initiative, they are mostly helping to achieve the target, and these targets are helping to achieve the measures, and these measures are helping to achieve the objectives. Okay, so now let's go to the next measures or perspectives. Let's go to the next measures and perspective. So let's draw the table. Let's draw the table. Let me draw the table again. Okay. Initially, I should make these three quite bigger. Okay, so let me divide it into 2 equal halves. So this one is looking at the objectives. This one is looking at the measures. This looks at the targets and the initiatives. Great. So the next thing that we have to look at is innovation and learning perspective. Okay, the innovation and learning. Now, what is it that the company must excel in order to remain competitive? Now here, we realize that for an organization to be innovative and learning, it will mostly involve the employees, the human capital of the business. So we can set measures like improve skills and knowledge of workers. Then we can also set a measure like provide training for leadership. The next one that we can set is providing professional development, continuous professional development. But how can we achieve these targets? How can we achieve this target? So what targets do we set for these measures? What measures? So here we can say, let's take leadership. 10% of leaders should be trained. 10% of leaders should be trained. Then say 5% of both workers and leadership should be enrolled in professional training. Then the next one, improve skills and knowledge. Here we are looking at, say, okay, 30% of employees must be trained. Great. Now that we have this, what are we training them for? As a table manufacturing company, there are different methods of manufacturing table and different technology that is always coming out. Therefore, a consistent improvement in the skills and knowledge of your workers as well as management in proper ways of becoming a competitor or a leader in the market is important. Therefore, the company must set targets that it wants to achieve at the end of a period. Okay, so let me add per annum, and here per annum. At the end of the period, to see an improvement in the human capital that the company has. So in order to achieve 30% of employees that must undergo training, what initiative can we put in place? So we can say we can have workshops for employees. We can have workshops for employees. Then here we have to look at training sections for leaders. Then the last one is we must ensure that management are enrolled in continuous professional development. So that is the balance scorecard under innovation and learning. Let's do the last one, which is internal business processes. Here we want to improve efficiency of the manufacturing of the tables. So that we don't have a lot of wastage, we don't have a lot of stoppages, and we don't have a lot of idle time. So the internal process, we can set efficiency of manufacturing tables. Then we can also set measures such as safe work environment. So here we want our workers to work well without any injuries. The next objective that we can set is to lead in product innovation. Let's go to the targets. Now here we can say that there must be 10% reduction 10% reduction in waste in waste, spoilage, etc. of tables. There must be 10%, or we can say there should be no accident or / injury. And the last one is there should be, okay, so let me use this one well. Let me write this one well, because no is not that specific. So let's say there should be 0 accident or injury. And the last one here is we should have 5 new table designs per annum. Okay, so this one is choose per annum, and this one choose per annum. Okay, so what measures or initiatives can we undertake in order to achieve the targets? So here we can say to achieve 10% reduction in waste or spoilage, we can have efficient and new machinery. So if we have efficient and new machinery, then we can reduce the number of spoilage and waste of our product. Then here we can also say this, for the same improvement efficiency of manufacturing of tables, we can say improve staff skills. So this one is also relating to the first target. 0 accidents. So here we can have safety checks every week. We should also the next thing that we can set is that we can also say that institute punishment for workers not being safety conscious. Then the last one is 5 new tables designs per annum. So what measure can we, so here our measure is we can brainstorm new designs every week. So basically this is the balance scorecard and how to construct the balance scorecard. If you really liked the lecture, please subscribe and share with your colleagues. Thank you. Now let's look at the advantages and disadvantages of the balance scorecard. Okay, so let me use the yellow color. So advantages and disadvantages of balance scorecard. So we will start with the advantages. We'll start with the advantages. Then we shall look at the disadvantages. Now, for the advantages, the balance scorecard helps to avoid management reliance on short-term or incomplete financial measures. So, as I stated already, we realize that a company has both financial and non-financial objectives. Some of the objectives are relating to customer satisfaction, which is non-financial, employees' skills and abilities, which is non-financial. And so the advantage of balance scorecard is such that it will help the organization not to rely on incomplete financial objectives that the organization always use, but rather concentrate on both financial and non-financial objectives. 2, it ensures that the organization takes balanced view. It ensures the company takes balanced view of the organization performance. So, is the company performing well? If yes, then on what parameters are the company performing well? How are they performing relating to customers? How are they performing relating to their financial objectives? And how are they performing relating to innovation and learning and internal processes? So the company can have a balanced view of its performance. It helps to drive down strategy to divisions and functions by forcing management to develop success measures relating to corporate goals. So this organization helps them to strategically consider the ability to drive down this kind of strategy to the various divisions and functions within the organization, and forcing the organization to set measures that will help the corporate organization achieve its goals. It helps stakeholders to evaluate. It helps stakeholders to evaluate an organization's performance. So I told you that an organization has a lot of stakeholders: employees, suppliers, community, the government. So if you build all these people's interests into a balanced scorecard, it will help these stakeholders to evaluate whether the organization has done so well or not. Then the last one is it helps an organization to create value for shareholders. Shareholders are interested in profit. However, for both the short and the long term, the shareholders' value must improve, and it is concentrating on this kind of interest or other aspects of the business that the shareholders' value can be improved over the long term as well as the short term. Now let's zoom into the disadvantages. The balanced scorecard involves shifts in corporate culture to implement or execute. So when you take an organization that is short term, that concentrates on the short term, building a balanced scorecard that will help them develop the various aspects of the business over a short and long term will involve a change in the perception and culture of the management as well as the entire organization to implement such a framework. The next one is it's time consuming. Now, coming out with the objectives, the measures, the target, and the initiatives, as we already did, is a very time consuming thing to do. Now, the next one is measures may conflict and confuse management. Measures may conflict and confuse management. What do I mean by this? Remember, let me explain this using this example. Customers want quality products, but they also want low prices. Sorry. They want low prices. Shareholders want high revenue and they want low cost. So, which of these interests should the management concentrate on? Should they sacrifice quality for the revenue of shareholders, or they should sacrifice the price for cost of shareholders? You realize that the customers want the quality product but are not prepared to pay more, but the shareholders want more. And so if they want more revenue, of which the customers are not prepared to pay, then they should reduce the quality of the product in order to earn more. So measures may conflict and confuse management, and management might wonder which of these measures that they should concentrate on. Okay, so the next one is does not lead to a single aggregate control. What does this mean? It means that there are four areas for the business to concentrate on: customers, financial, innovation and learning, and internal business processes. You realize that each of them have their own measures, their targets and initiative. So there is not a single aggregate control. You have to concentrate on different areas of the business, and this is one of the disadvantages of the balanced scorecard. If you really enjoyed the lecture, please do subscribe and share this video. Thank you.